So we've just left the car park and we're on our way to the top of the mountain. It's going to take us at least an hour and 45 minutes. Let me tell you a little bit about this. There are a few more inspiring sights from the white cotton grass waving over the widely beautiful blanket bog stretching across the middle slopes of the Cuilcagh Mountain Park. It's protected as one of the most intact blanket bogs in Western Europe. Way back in 1998, work began with the formation of the Cuilcagh Mountain Park by Fermanagh District Council. Its purpose was to protect the blanket bog, restore damaged areas and to make people aware of the environmental value of the Cuilcagh Mountain. Peat cutting was stopped in the area in the 1990s, and with the cooperation of local farmers, various government departments and the assistance of the European Commission's Life Peatlands project, work was undertaken to restore the damaged peatland, to conserve its pristine blanket bog and to raise bogland habitats and wildlife. As part of this work, a bog walk boardwalk was constructed to allow rangers access to work on building over 2,500 small dams to block over 17 miles of drains in order to build the water level in the bog back up to its natural level. Different methods of construction were used: hay bales, wooden planks, peat dams. This work was all undertaken by hand and took over 13 years to complete. Sheep numbers were also reduced to allow the plants and the damaged or overgrazed sections of the bog an opportunity to recover. Now, blanket bog. Blanket bog is a layer of peat laid almost like a blanket across the mountain. It's about 2 to 3 metres deep and depends on the high rainfall of the Cuilcagh Mountain to support the special plants, animals and insects that have adapted to life on the waterlogged ground. Blanket bogs formed over thousands of years. The process began when poor drainage prevented waterlogged plant material from decaying, causing it to build up over centuries as peat. What a view it is from here. So we're half an hour into the walk up the Cuilcagh Mountain, and well, it's still gravel track, but soon it goes to the boardwalk. It's a lovely dry day, mid-teens with a bit of a breeze, so it's ideal for it. Speak to you in a minute. So here on the northern slopes of Cuilcagh Mountain, you're over 350 metres or 1,150 feet above sea level, offering a wonderful panoramic view of the surrounding countryside. To the east, topped mountain at a height of 227 metres breaks the line of the otherwise flat lowlands. In the lowlands you will see Enniskillen, Kathleen Island. It's the largest town in County Fermanagh. The town is attractively located in the island at the narrows between Upper and Lower Loch, and you can just sort of see where the lake is through the mist. In the skyline is Belmore Mountain with a summit roughly 368 metres high, which is the second highest point in Fermanagh. Belmore is at the heart of Fermanagh Boho cave country, with the village of Boho nestled within it, and beneath the landscape lies an extensive maze of caves, including the Cave of the Doves, which featured in the television series Game of Thrones. On the lower slopes of the Cuilcagh Mountain is Polissamera, one of the three rivers which have carved out the marble cave sinks into the limestone rock. The Marble Arch Caves are one of Europe's finest show caves, where visitors can experience the mystery and beauty of the subterranean world. Loch Maclean is in two parts. Lower Loch Maclean is the smaller eastern lake, sits within County Fermanagh, while Upper Loch Maclean is in County Cavan. On the strip of land between the two lakes are the villages of Belcoo and Blackline. A river runs between the villages, linking the eastern and western lakes. Looking west, you will see Hanging Rock, which is a sheer limestone cliff bridging over Lower Loch Maclean, which can be seen from Belcoo looking across the loch. In the background is Ballintemple Forest, one of the many large state forests in West Fermanagh that are managed by the Forestry Service. I'm Justin McCartney. I hope you're enjoying this walk up the Cuilcagh Mountain today. So we're at the start of the boardwalk up the Cuilcagh Mountain, and we've just literally gone the first 100 metres. It's flat and then it begins to go into steps. So this is one of the rivers that we're crossing, and if you look down to the right here, you'll see there's a bit of a waterfall down this way. and you can see where there's a bit of quarrying has been going on over the years over there. The bluffs, you can see how far we've come in the distance right down there behind us. And then just up this way you can see we're going to make our way up the steps, up the hill. We've probably got about another 45 minutes to go, and we'll catch up on the way up. So we're halfway up the steep bit on the Cuilcagh Mountain walkway. We're sort of halfway up the steps. We've got another 15 minutes of steps to go. Loch Atona is in the background there, and once we make it to the summit, we're going to get a great view over County Fermanagh, especially the lakelands. It is a bit misty today, but we'll show you later on in the show. But enjoy the view. Speak to you soon. So we're at the top of the Cuilcagh Mountain walkway. Huge swathes of the Cuilcagh Mountain are designated as a special area of conservation and as an area of special scientific interest because of its mosaic of important habitats and geology which are intimately linked. These habitats support some of our most amazing species such as golden plover, red grouse, sundew and marsh fritillate. Now, the geology of Cuilcagh is composed of horizontal layers of sedimentary rock that formed during the Carboniferous period and gives a record of the environments that existed here between 340 and 330 million years ago. The mudstones at the base of the mountain formed in a deep sea, while the gritstone here on the summit of Cuilcagh would have formed in an ancient river delta. The summit of Cuilcagh is different to the blanket bog that extends over the mountain's lower slopes. This is called Montane Heath. Up here you're standing on oceanic climate shaped structure, which is usually reserved for places above 600 meters, all above the tree line. Up here the plants have to deal with extreme temperatures, very strong winds, and even being completely covered by snow. Species like crowberry, dwarf willow, Racurmentrium and fir club moss are especially adapted to deal with these extremes. They would have been some of the first species which would have started to grow in Ireland after the last ice age. Now, if you want to look left to right, you can actually see Thur Mountain, then Cavan in the Burren Park in the distance, Loch Atona, bottom left. Further above it, Upper Loch Maclean. Further on round, where you see the path, you can actually see the Marble Arch Caves down there. You can also see the Loch Earn region as well. Now, if we move round, you can actually see Belmore Mountain in the distance there. That's it through the mist. Down below the river you can see is the Achenraw River. Then further round you can see Enniskillen, Treen Mountain, Ben Lachlan and Upper Loch Earn. What a fantastic view you can see from up here. It's well worth the fiver for parking for the day. Takes you the guts of an hour and a half of your quick, 3 hours of your slow, and it's only an hour back down again.